Hello, everyone. Today's video, my name is Charles, and today's video is going to be on lightness, on the true definition of success. So, a lot of people think, right, and a lot of people have, this has come up a lot in my personal life and has made my life richer, more enjoyable, easier to manage, easier to live and love and enjoy. And so I hope it does the same for you. I hope everyone who listens, finds that finds that ease and finds that grace and enjoyment through the video. So we're going to talk today about success. What is the true definition of success? And what is the true definition of success? And how does it relate? How does it relate to lightness, or the quality of in Western terms, right? If we were in the East and we were studying, Buddhism or Hinduism, right? We would say like the Akashic or the air-like quality, right? But in Western society, we would say lightheartedness, right? It's the same exact thing. So whoever's watching this, it's the exact same thing, lighthearted. How does being lighthearted, relate to the true definition of success, at least in my eyes? This is my definition. And this is the definition I live and work with. If you have another definition and you define success in another way, that is totally up to you. And if it works for you and you enjoy it, go right ahead. It is enjoy, live and let live, and enjoy being you. So, in terms of my definition, though, of success, true success, what does it mean? Well, true success, to me, is twofold. So, what is true success to me? Right? True success to me is two embodied things, right? It is two embodied things. So these are the embodied. Embodied, which means like these are the two physical things. They're also like spiritual and whatever. They're physical and they're spiritual, but these are the two embodied things, right? And they're all held together by this. These are going to be wings, but pardon me if this looks a little weird. Okay? Right? So these are going to be wings by lightness. Okay, so here's what I mean. Right? Suppose you're confused. Okay, so these are the two embodied things, right? Love and service. So, unconditional love, right, or just love in your life, that is one measure of success in my book. In my book, the measure of love you give out in this life, A+ thing. Service being, right, you sow what you reap. There's also, if we're speaking like biblically, right, I'll speak on multiple levels for service, because a lot of people in today's society, right, at least in America, right? Money is a big thing, or financial well-being is a big thing for a lot of people. And so how does that relate to service, right? Because we all know we need love. We need love from the family, or we want to give love to our family. We want to give love to our friends. We want to give love in our relationship. And so love, right? We all know we want to give love. That, easy peasy. Everyone can agree on that. Now service, why am I saying service here? Well, I'll go from multiple layers, and I'll start with the spiritual layer, the highest layer, and I will consecutively go down to even materialistic, purely transactional views of the world to explain why service is another, a metric of success. So, if we start here on the spiritual being most important, or at least in my view, you can have, if it is not as important to you, that is okay. The video will continue, and you will get to the materialistic transactional part at some point. So for the spiritual, right? there's a couple of quotes here that work pretty well, or a couple of understandings, right? First, we sow what we reap, right? Meaning whatever we put out, whatever we give to the world, however we serve the world, to that same measure we will be given. So like if you take like a physics example, like every action has an opposite and equal reaction. So it may not be purely binary, right? Like let's say, or I'll even say like in the transactional view, because this might be easier. I give an apple to the world. That may not mean I get an apple back, but it'll be equal and opposite in proportion to what I gave. So if I gave an apple and that relates to this much happiness or this much well-being, that, or in some degree, like however it serves the world, then in that same proportion, it'll be given back to me. Now, it may not directly translate as in apple leads to apple, but it may mean apple leads to something else or connection or this. You see what I'm saying, right? So even in the transactional view, even in the transactional view, I get, for example, I go to the store, I give money and I receive in the transactional view. So the same measure that you give is the same measure that you receive. And so in a larger scale view, from a place of like abundance and energy, if I give service, if I give my skills, whether it be like coding or these what I try to make with these YouTube videos, or service to friends, service to family, service to loved my loved one, and so it's like even in that, right? If I to the measure that I give and I am of service, right, in equal and opposite or in equal proportion to that I which will receive, right? We sow what we reap, and it doesn't necessarily mean it directly translates to tit for tat, so to speak, right? Like purely materialistic, like X for X or Y for Y, apple for apple, right? It may not be that. It may manifest in different forms. It may be like I give an apple, I get a banana, to give that example. It may be like I give this apple and I don't necessarily get an apple, but the equal and opposite reaction is I get a banana. So that's kind of that view of it. And so the more service you give, right, the more from the place of abundance of energy, time, skills, attention and care that you give the world, so too, is given unto you. And there's even a quote, I'll even look this up, because why not? It'll be top down, shaken together, good measure, and be given unto thee. Good measure, and be given unto thee, I think. Something like this. There's a biblical quote. Here we go. There we go. Yeah. Give and it will be given to you. A good measure pressed down, shaken together, and running over will be poured into your lap. For the measure you use will be measured unto you. Give and you will receive. Your gift will return to you in full, pressed down, shaken together, to make room for more, running over and poured into your lap. The amount you give will determine the amount you do get back. Okay, so that's like the biblical principle, right? Whatever version or Bible you use, or however you want to like keep it in your head, right? I didn't remember the quote perfectly, but just, give and be given unto thee. So from the abundance that is present already, whether it be skills, time, attention, care, love, doesn't matter how you give, from the place of giving, you'll be given unto you. So from that place, the service is what leads to abundance, right? So love and abundance, those are why I say, right? Those are measured in are measures of success, because I'd like to live in abundance and I'd like to give tons of love, and so those are two super important things for me. And that's those are my embodied, right? The service being embodied, what you give and is an embodied thing. It's an experiential thing, and the love you experience and give to others is also experiential. I mean, if we talk about it from a spiritual lens, right, the love filling our souls. If we talk about a mental lens, like the sweetness of our emotion when we're in love. If we talk about it from a neurochemical lens, right, the oxytocin flooding our brain when we're with our loved one or we're enamored, and right. So you're right, the love on multiple levels: spiritual love to the soul, to the mind, and the sweetness of emotion, like to the heart, and then even to the, you know, physical level, and in terms of, you know, the neurochemistry that releases oxytocin and feelings of connecting and bonding, right? On every level, love is an experiential and embodied thing. And in service is an experiential, like if I serve my boss, or if I serve a, you know, customer, right? That is an embodied thing that leads to abundance. So those two are embodied things that I want to have in my life, or that's the place that I want to live from. Now, suppose you're like, well, Charles, whoa. It is hard to love, you know, to give so much love, or it is hard to, you know, give so much energy, time, attention to get good at things, to work for a company, to do this and that, to start a business, to serve customers, whatever it is. It is hard to love and be of service. It is so hard. Oh, it's so difficult, right? It can be hard, right? And this is not to say that life is, you know, super easy all the time, right? But this is where it's all held together by the lightness, okay? This is why I say light, okay? Because if you take the weight of this world, the weight of all experiences, if you take everything with such, I mean, in the West we call it like seriousness, or such insane gravitas, or like you hold it all, like you internalize it, and it's like you can't hold on to too much. You got to keep it light. Like there's a good quote, there's a beautiful quote, and this might encapsulate what I'm saying. You got to keep things light, always keep things light, because if you don't, the weight of the world is definitely going to destroy you. I mean, you're going to be carrying around a pound of bricks. I mean, do you realize, like, there are so many crazy experiences I've had in my life, and I'm sure anyone listening to this has probably had crazy experiences in their life. I've probably had stressors, this, that, and the other. And if you carry all that with you, if you don't ever let that go, or, you know, keep things light, you're going to lose it. If you don't let things be light and you're always so serious, or always everything is so heavy and hard and like, dude, you are gonna fucking lose it. If like, dude, I've had so many insane experiences, just so many fucked moments. So like everyone's had this, to the, you know, the times when they think they did it all right and then this happens, or fucking their car breaks down and they ran out of gas, and their phone broke, and, you know, nobody's responding, and like all the fucked moments that we have in our life, if we hold them with such insane gravitas and, like, you know, really, you know, serious, you know, like, then we're gonna fucking lose it. So even if you are fully giving the love and you are fully giving the serious or the service, do it with lightness, do it with lightheartedness, you know. Don't take it so seriously and so personal, because just for your sake, for whoever's listening to this, man, it's a long life. Like, or especially if you live the whole way through, bro. If you live the whole existence, right? Let's say you live 100 years. That's a lot of days. And a lot of bad stuff can happen in a lot of days. And if you take all of that so seriously, or even just like every moment so seriously, it's too much. Keep it easy, keep it light, you know. Just don't hold on so tight, because you're gonna fucking lose it if you don't. Or like if you do hold too tight, you're just gonna lose it, man. You're gonna lose it. So that's my advice to you. The best way and the easiest way to be of most love and to be of most service, right, is to hold that under the grace and under the wings of lightheartedness. If it's too serious, if it's too gripping, right, you gotta be lighthearted, or else life's gonna be far too stressful. So just for your own sake, for whoever's listening, yes, in terms of my definition of success, love and service are like the ultimate metrics, or the ultimate, you know, things. but it should all be under the umbrella or under the blanket, under the warm covers of lightheartedness. Because otherwise, life's just going to overwhelm you, man. It's going to be far too much if you take it too seriously. And so, what is a great quote we can use to summarize this, right? To summarize this. We're going to use a couple of quotes to understand this. True definition of success, right? How are we going to encapsulate success? Well, we're going to encapsulate it in love, all right? Unconditional love for family, loved one, and friends, and people in general, right? Unconditional love. If you just got unconditional love, man, and you're giving out love, that's A+, top measure of success. That's goodness. Second measure is service, right? Service, give, and be given unto thee, right? If you want abundance, even if you are super materialistic and you're like, man, it's all about the money, it's all about the dough, well, then you're going to have to give a lot of time and a lot of energy and a lot of attention and a lot of care to a lot of people. You're going to have to serve a lot of customers. And you're going to have to make those customers very happy. So, and if you give in that way and you make them very, very happy and you help them, then you will be given unto thee. So you'll experience that abundance. So this is just my definition of success. And it doesn't have to be yours. But for me, the true definition of success is, right, living from a place of love, living from a place of service, and lastly, all from the grace of lightheartedness. Because otherwise, you're gonna lose it. You're gonna lose it. And so, what is the final quote for this, right? How do we describe, right? How do we describe? I was gonna pull up a quote, but we're not gonna do that. We're gonna use our own quotes because we're cool guys or girls, right? Whoever's listening, we're cool people. Okay, here's how we're gonna do it. The greatest success is to strive for these. Is to strive for service and love with the least pressure on your chest. So the richest man, the true richest man, meaning most abundant and most love given out, also has the least pressure on his chest. Because what does it really matter? What does it really matter if you had everything, like materially, and you were just miserable? I mean, there are people with millions that kill themselves, and that is not to like trigger anybody, but that's like, that just shows that it's like if there's too much stress to get to those millions of dollars, then it's not worth it, man. You need to have the least pressure on your chest while being of service and while giving love to the people you care about. So that's the true definition of success right there, at least according to me. And you are all, and as humans, right, we all get to come up with our own beautiful definitions for what success means for you. And so if this definition, right, if this way of thinking and feeling and being and doing serves you, then enjoy this definition. You are free to use it. You're free to enjoy this definition, live in this way. And if you don't want to use it, if you don't want to use this definition of success and you have your own, then enjoy your own, see if yours works. Enjoy it. Tell me how it goes. And yeah, I just wish you the best on your journey. So hopefully this helps some people. Hopefully this sheds some light on like a good way of viewing success, a useful way, a happy way of viewing success. And until next time, this has been Charles, and best of luck out there. Be blessed, people.